By the time Interview with the Vampire hit theaters in 1994, the film had been in development for almost 20 years, seemingly with an obstacle or controversy for almost every one of them. Aided by producer David Geffen, only director Neil Jordan, riding high after the critical and commercial success of The Crying Game, was able to overcome those hurdles and deliver an adaptation of Anne Rice's 1976 novel that merged the operatic scale of Gone with the Wind and theatrical bloodletting of Bram Stoker's Dracula. Although Rice originally balked at Tom Cruise playing the vampire Lestat, it didn't hurt that the film starred one of the biggest actors in Hollywood, as well as Brad Pitt, himself on the precipice of superstardom, alongside Kirsten Dunst as their scene-stealing preteen companion, marking the film's 30th anniversary. Jordan recently spoke with Variety about the many challenges he faced to get Interview with the Vampire made. In addition to discussing its controversial casting choices, including one that happened because of the tragic death of River Phoenix, he reflected on the tone of his adaptation, the impact of that tone on star Brad Pitt, the sexual underpinnings of its story about same-sex companionship, and some of the scenes that ended up on the cutting room floor. Interview with a Vampire is an adaptation that had, for many years, languished in development hell. What greased the wheels to make it when you started on it? I was sent a script by David Geffen at Warner Brothers that Anne had written. I found it intriguing, but there were elements in the book that had been excised and slightly neutered. So I just said, look, why don't I try my own draft of the script, which I did, and they quite rapidly put it into production. Brad Pitt was attached at the time, and they were searching for Lestat. Because of the exigencies of the Writers Guild and all that, I didn't end up getting a credit, but I reintroduced elements of Anne's book that had somehow gotten waylaid a little bit. What were those elements? Some of the eroticism had gone missing, I think. The wonderful issue of Claudia as a child. The attempt of these two men, who were in this eternal relationship, to construct a family for themselves. And I suppose the broader sense of making a vampire movie into a substantial epic, introducing elements that normally you don't see in these kind of movies. And the time transition from New Orleans right up to the present day. Basically, I just wanted to make it more faithful to Anne's book. What kind of juice did you have after The Crying Game? I wasn't aware of what kind of juice I had at all, really. I was just aware that I'd been sent a big Hollywood movie. I did say to the producer, David Geffen, I function best in an independent context. And David said, I'll keep the studio off your back. Which he did. So we ended up making a very personal movie with a substantial budget with two major stars. There was an operatic element to the novel, and I suppose I remembered Francis Coppola's Bram Stoker's Dracula, which had expanded the palette of a vampire film.